But we all wanted to gather. We've got some people who put in some legwork to go down memory lane for you, and we wanted to take a minute to share some of our memories of Brian Cratchit this morning. So thank you to everybody who joined. And if you can see my screen, I'm going to share it while I'm talking. So I have been working with this young man for 19.
Oh my God! Wow!
For 19.
Changed a bit. Look at that one.
With Jason Owen, no less, and this one I think features a really, really young Brian Cratchit and Mike Sullivan.
Oh my gosh! Look at all those people. Carrie Palmer.
So Allison did some legwork for me in a closet in Coach Road in HR, and did some digging for some old photos, which I think tell a pretty good story about Brian's 30 years.
Wow.
But most of
Allison had hair.
Oh.
Haven't changed a bit. Still looks the same.
Got the hair.
He's still got good hair. But most of my memories are more recent. Even though I've been here for 19 of your years, Brian, I don't think that I think everybody on this call would agree that there is not anyone in the organization who fights more fiercely for your customers, who works harder to support your partners, or whether it's on our team or in other departments. There's not anybody who shows up more consistently and cares more passionately than you. And it's evidenced in the awards that you consistently earn, because you're always one of the top performers on top of that.
Goodness gracious.
These seem more recent, but it's been 10 years, Brian. This is just since we've worked together.
Yeah.
So this is the last slide, and I think my favorite, there's a story.
I recognize the Christmas sweater.
Brian actually participated in the Ugly Christmas event, but Greg Vest shared the picture on the left, which was acknowledging the son of a driver that actually passed. So you guys were doing something really cool there too, which just reinforces what we're saying about how you show up for your partners and how you show up for the company. So I've had the opportunity to learn a ton from you in your professional leadership, but personally too, we've celebrated a lot of milestones together. I'm thankful for your friendship. I'm thankful that you will speak the truth to all of us, whether we want to hear it or not, and for the way that you just set a high bar for the way we're supposed to do our jobs, and I'm thankful for that. So there are a few other people on the call who have some things to share with you as well, so I'll turn the floor over.
Okay, can I start? First of all, Brian, congratulations. When Reed had told me about the call, I was like, I'm in. I got to be on this call. So,
Thank you.
I think Reed sums it up fantastically. Like, I honestly have not had the opportunity to work with many employees that have the dedication that you bring. Your customers, and what came to mind was I spent a day with you. You took me I went to saw Meadows of Dan,
Right.
Lover's Leap, and we went to Nancy Candy. I think that was what it was called. And the way she talked about you, it was unbelievable. Like, the partnership she saw in you, the dedication that you brought to her and her company. And throughout the day, it kept getting repeated, the same story, regardless of what customer we were at. They kept saying, Brian has done this. We wouldn't be here without Brian. Brian this, Brian that. And to hear customers say that about their account executive, you just don't experience that every day. And your 30 years here have been phenomenal, what you've brought to the people around you, the people above you, and in all capacities, whether it's in business development, operations. Everyone knows Brian Cratchit, and I can't thank you enough. And I'll tell you what, if you want to stay another 30 years, as long as I'm here, I'm in for
you, Shannon. Thank you for those comments. I appreciate it. And I will not be here another 30 years. I don't know what that number is, but it will not be 30.
Oh, at least another 10. How about that?
Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe.
Looks like you got at least 10 in you.
Yeah. Mike, so do you, Mike, right?
Somewhere, yeah. Bills of these children. I did want to say, though, if you don't mind, I'll make a few comments. Brian, you're a great friend. You are one of the best people that I've met in my career. I can tell you that. And I owe you personally a lot because when I first started as an account executive in 1994, Brian was a seasoned veteran already. He was a couple of years ahead of me as an AD. So they sent me to Danville, Rona South and Danville Center. And a lot of the area that you just mentioned, Champaign, way out in the middle of nowhere. But Brian really, he took me under his wing. He spent so much time, many, many hours, many late hours. I remember we were there, it seemed like every night till 7 or 8 o'clock, sitting in that little cubby hole of an office in Danville. But Brian,
Still here in it.
I need to get out there and check it out again to bring back the old memories. But I just want to let you know you're one of the good guys. You personally took a lot of time to help develop me and show me the ropes. And trust me, I was scared and nervous, and you really helped me get through that. So, and I agree 100%. You're one of the best salespeople that I have run into, and the way that you deliver year in and year out is, it's absolutely amazing. So, much respect for you, and I just really appreciate what you did for me when I first started.
Thank you, Mike, for those words. Bring back a lot of good memories that we spent still here in the Danville cubby hole of an office, but it brings back a lot of good memories, and congratulations on your success, and I appreciate your comments and being a little bit a part of it at the beginning of it anyway.
You were a huge part, trust me. You and Rick, you too. I think you're out there. Yeah, a lot of good memories. I look back very fondly on those years.
Well, I appreciate all the comments. It means a lot to me this morning for Reed to take the time and everyone, Shannon and Mike, to get on the call and recognize my 30 years. It's hard to believe, as Reed mentioned, her 19 years. It's amazing how fast the years go by. It's amazing that it's 2020, and a lot of those people on these calls, they started in the early 90s. Mike, I think, is 87, I believe. I think that's right. It's just amazing how fast time flies at this company because we have always had so much to do, and we've done so much, and I know the next, whatever the number of years I have left at UPS, they'll go by just as quick. So it means a lot.
You know what, though? It's still fun, though. I enjoy most of every day. I love the challenge UPS brings. It's never been a dull day in my career, so that's what I love.
Yeah, each day is always something new for sure, and that's what does make it exciting and challenging. But we're thankful for that part, I guess. If it was the same monotonous thing day in and day out, those years would go by slow, and that's not the case. Obviously, that speaks to that.
Reed, do you mind if I add something here?
Go for it.
All right. I think what's funny is looking at those pictures, and you uncovered some. 27 years ago, me and Brian were the class of 5. It was 5 of us that were promoted. Me and him were the only 2 left. They had Holly Boniface, who's a pilot down in Florida now. Ted White, I don't know who he is. And then Bruce Reddick, who is actually, I think, teaching high school in the Virginia Beach area. So me and Brian are the remaining 2. I tell you the interesting thing over the years, and, me and Brian, I feel like have kind of learned a lot from each other. We talk strategy and perspective. And just like everyone else, I admire Brian's just tenacity for his customers and fighting for them. And I just know, and I've told him this before, whoever is the person that follows him at Danville has got some huge shoes to follow. Just because not only outside with his customers, but internally. He fights for his customers, whether it's with UPSers. So I love that tenacity about him. And I always think about that. I was like, does that come from his wrestling background or his other hobbies competitively that he's done over the years? I tell you, the interesting part is Brian has also given me perspective because he knows my children. Here's the stories I talk about my boys and my daughter, and he gives me a different perspective. I know Brian doesn't have children, but he said something to me about with one of my sons about hey, you got to let them grow up, and I really took that to heart, and I appreciate that. To the point where he's actually, followed my daughter's basketball career in high school. Really taking the time to look it up, come to games, and that means a lot to me. The funny thing is, me and Brian have coined two phrases because sometimes everything's not always easy. Be careful. We kind of joked about that. A lot of times when stuff happens, we go, nothing's ever easy. Even when you think it's a slam dunk, it's not. So we know that going into it, and there's always something, right?
There's always something.
And we joke about that being job security and the fact that because there is such complexity to our jobs, and so much knowledge a lot of times needed, is good. But I think Brian hit it on earlier. I look back, 27, 30 years together, 30 years with the company. Time flies when you're having fun because it just doesn't seem like it happened that fast, right? I was interesting. I found all the pictures I see you smiling. I'm glad to see you smiling, Brian, because usually you always have this certain look on your face. I looked on the internet. There was quite a few faces of Brian smiling, and that's one of the things I liked about that. On that end, the other interesting thing. Do you know what else happened in 1990? A little trivia here. I did a little research on that year. That was the birth of the internet in 1990. You can imagine that. So we got the internet and we got Brian Cradgen in 1990. But Brian, I just want to say congratulations. First 30 has gone fast. I think the next 10 will be even faster. So let's go for 40. Okay, buddy?
I don't know about that, Rick, but I appreciate those comments, Rick. As many know, I talk to Rick a lot, and we have some great conversations about our customers and life in general, and I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate what you said, Rick, to me a lot, and we've been together down this road for 27 years, and we'll be together for whatever those years left at UPS and afterwards, and I appreciate what you said. It means a lot.
Go for 40.
I don't know about that.
Anybody else?
Hey, Reed, it's Don. Just real quick, it wouldn't be marketing without a 40 deck presentation, so if you don't mind, I'm just kidding. That was for everyone's benefit on the call. Brian reminds me of a guy that took me under my wing 30-plus years ago also. He's Dave Quartz of the South is how I describe it. Dave Quartz was a dear friend at UPS for a lot of years, and Dave, like Brian, wore his customers' hearts on his sleeve. Like, he really cares to that point. Every once in a while, Dave had to roll up his sleeve and just throw up all over you about all the things that were going on with his customers. And Brian's similar in that fashion, which I appreciate. So,
I'm sorry when I do that.
no, it's all good, man. It's passion that keeps everybody living. So we appreciate 30 years of service, and thanks for what you do every day.
Thank you, Don. I appreciate it. Thanks for all your help.
Last call for props for Brian. Oh, sorry, James.
No, appreciate it. Just thinking back, to that kickoff topic of having grit. I think BK definitely defines that, and the one story that comes to mind, and that he's told me a couple of times, is about his counterpart. And so that freight rep called Brian and said, "Hey man, these people said, you know, they're gonna divert, they're gonna switch over to a competitor for their freight business." And you know, this freight rep was kind of, you know, timid, shaking in their boots. You know, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna lose all this business. You know, the world's collapsing. And Brian says, "Well, you know, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna get in your car and you're gonna get in front of that customer and tell them what you've done for them, and you know, show that personal connection that you've built, and that's just, you know, that's classic sales, you know, and that's you know, that's taking it personal and making those connections, and proving your value, you know, over and over to our customers. You know, that's one of those stories that resounds with me, and you know, that's, you know, there's times when things are tough. I mean, that's, you know, the best way to resolve it is, yeah, get in front of your customer and talk it through. And so, yeah, that's definitely one of those stories that, you know, that Brian shared with me that will always stick out in my mind. So, yeah, congrats on 30 years, huge accomplishment, and yeah, appreciate all your help.
Thanks for those words, James. Yeah, that's you bring that story up. Justin Gibson is a freight rep here in Danville, and he's a good friend, and he's been a good UPS partner, and we've had a lot of success together because of our relationship and calling our customers together. I'm confident of that. And that account was about, at that time, $600,000 or $700,000 to him, and Justin had put in the time and effort at that customer. And for him, that customer called him and told him they were going to divert. I told Justin, get in the car and go and tell that customer that all the things that he had done for that customer, that wasn't right. And he did that, and he actually was able to save the business. So sometimes, yeah, just confronting it head on can be difficult, but sometimes it's the right thing to do, and to do it right then. And Justin did that, and he saved that account. So congrats to him in that regard. And that customer is still with us today, and I think they're on the freight side closing in on $1 million. It's amazing. It's a great account.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Well, Brian, the good news is you made it for 30 years. The bad news is every year after this is like in dog years.
Oh, don't say that, Bruce.
The truth. But, you know, I have to say something, because Brian has a lot of the same attributes in sales that I do. And, you know, sometimes the new age of sales, we lose it we lose the fact that sometimes your best differential is service and running to the fire. And I think Brian probably, it sounds like he imparted a lot of that to Mike and James and even through to Rick over the years. And that's such a huge thing. That's why those customers, that when Shannon was out there visiting, they truly felt that about Brian, because he took care of them when other salespeople might just run away. And that at some point, that has more value to me than just being this great salesperson that has all of the methods and all the ways to win business. It's easier to win business, I think, than to retain business. And there is an art to retaining customers and having customers say those things that they said to Shannon about you. Or you might have done the same thing that I did. I only took it to the customers that really liked me. Congratulations on 30 years. It's an unbelievable accomplishment. People have no idea, especially some of the younger people, when they look at their 1 year and look back, gosh, look what a tough year that was. How did Brian do 29 more of those? So congratulations.
Thanks.
Here's to your next 10.
Thank you, Bruce. Thanks for those words. How many from out for you, Bruce? 35, 6?
9.
Where we at? Oh my gosh, I'm way behind. I apologize. 39.
Almost 40.
That's incredible right there. Unbelievable. But thank you for those words, and I've enjoyed working with you over the last several years and being part of a Reach group, and you bring a lot to our team, and I appreciate that. And thanks for those words.
Okay, we'll take you off the hot seat now, Brian. We just wanted to take a minute to acknowledge the accomplishment because it is huge. Thank you to everybody who joined. I know that there's some other things that we're going through today that you guys don't necessarily have to stick around for, but we thank you for participating. Thank you for acknowledging Brian. Congrats, Brian.
Congratulations, Brian.
Woo! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Mike, you want to stay in?
I'm out.
See ya, Shannon.